the Niners created a bunch of cap space, almost $10 million during the draft by restructuring Christian McCaffrey. And it's most likely because starting like today, they can sign players, free agents, and have it not affect their comp pick formula, which is not exactly public, but essentially they like comp picks. If they sign players last week, it would mean fewer comp picks. Now it doesn't mean, it has no effect. I didn't really explain that well, but I think people understand what I'm talking. I think they feel me. Do you think they're going to go sign Yannick Ngakoue?
I don't think so. I think they're going to go get a guy, but I don't think Yannick Ngakoue fits the 49ers. He's a really good pass rusher, doesn't play run defense. And then he's also a guy who I think needs a lot of snaps in order to be able to put up those sacks. He's a high volume guy in order to get there. So if you're asking him to come in and play, 300 to 400 snaps as just a pass rusher alone, I don't think that he moves the needle for the 49ers. So I would say no, I don't think Yannick Ngakoue is a 49er. I think you might be looking more at like a guy like Zadarius Smith out of Minnesota. I think he makes more sense for them than Yannick Ngakoue.
I like Zadarius Smith. He's really good.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like Zadarius Smith is better right now than Colton Kivitz. I know they play different positions, but I'm thinking one-on-one in training camp, my money's on Zadarius.
Yeah, that makes sense. Or, maybe, who knows? I think there's a couple of really good pass rushers here. There's a couple of other positions. Leonard Floyd works out for them as well. So there's, if you just want to stick on the defensive ends, yeah, there's a few out there that they can go out and get that would be able to come in and be kind of your, like, it's kind of like when Kevin Green joined the 49ers back in the late 90s, where he's not going to do anything other than come in and rush the passer. I think if the 49ers are looking if you're looking for them to get a guy that's going to come in as an edge rusher, just look for a guy that all he does is rush the passer, and he can do it in short bursts where he doesn't have to come in and play 800 snaps to get those.
Also, if they sign a guy like Yannick Ngakoue, that's a big vote of no confidence in Drake Jackson. It's like, hey, Drake, forget about playing this year, maybe next year, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Big
and that's
time.
That's it. And so it's an interesting thing because they got this money. What are they going to do with it?
What are they going to do with it? It might not be a defensive end that they sign. Maybe they're going to sign an offensive tackle.
Maybe it's going to be a tackle. Maybe
Joe Staley. You're not that old. Come on.
Come on back.
He's not even 40 yet. Take one for the team.
There's some things there. They can go out and get an offensive lineman. Maybe it's a quarterback that they're going to go out and get. Maybe they're going to trade for maybe that trade that guy I don't remember who put it out there, but somebody said the 49ers are going to trade and they're going to get Zadarius Smith and they're going to get Nick Mullins. Maybe that's the move. Maybe they're going to bring Nick back to be the third quarterback because they like
CJ.
So they're going to make a trade because he's in Jacksonville,
trade,
still, right? So
trade a future one, a very future one. 2074.
There you go. And the fact that they didn't get a quarterback in the draft, I understand why, because there wasn't really anyone. The guys that I felt fit them weren't there when they drafted at the spots they took. So,
were you surprised to see Philly take Tanner McKee?
Yeah, because the guy has feet of stone.
Exactly.
Right?
He's the slowest quarterback in the draft. But then I guess like they drafted Nick Foles. Maybe they think there's a similarity there.
I heard a really interesting take on that during the draft. Again, I did a lot of it between watching TV, but I was listening to most of it on the radio, and they were talking about it was somebody had been with in New York with Rex Ryan, and Rex Ryan wanted quarterbacks that were different, and what his reasoning was if my backup, I just need him to be able to do a set of 20 plays. If he can just do these 20 things, it doesn't have to be what the starter does, but if we know he's the backup and he goes in and he can do these 20 plays. If they're different than what the starter does, it's even more of an advantage to us because the defense isn't ready.
Right.
So that's so that could be kind of some of what they're doing here too, because
that makes sense.
He's definitely not going to run around. And right now their backup quarterback is the guy from Atlanta last year, who matches up a little bit, Mariota. So yeah, that was an interesting pick. I didn't like McKee at all. He throws the ball well, but he just doesn't move very good at all.
He doesn't move. No, I think the thing about Philly is like they don't really do a lot of pocket movement.
No,
they run their quarterback, but they don't like move them. They're not really like asked to throw on the run very much. Like Jalen Hurts runs to run, not runs to throw. So I think what's possible is what they could say with Tanner is like, okay, yeah, he can't run at all, but he can do all the RPO stuff. Like we can just take out the quarterback run stuff and he can run this. I mean, that's essentially what they did with Foles. They just added the quarterback run stuff onto that with Hurts.
He's got a big enough arm to make the downfield throws that they ask for, because they're kind of funny. Most all that, you look at the numbers and you have pretty much everybody is dink and dunk, and then every once in a while they go over the top. And they were really they run a lot of those screens, and then they take the shot plays over the top, and then they kind of mix in some other stuff around it. He can do all that stuff. Just not ask him to run; it'll be fine. He's got a strong.
You have to have a big arm to play for Philly, right? Because you got to be able to make the sideline throws and the deep throws. They don't really ask you to make those like layered touch throws over the middle.
Yeah, you've got to be able to make the deep throw outside the numbers.
Big time. He can do that. He
can.
Mariota can't.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think he's necessarily that player as much as McKee is.
No. So I'm curious to see what happens with Mariota. If he plays for them, he's going to run a lot. I bet.
Yeah, probably.
Or just hand off.